Fourth Floor to Mildness is a video installation artwork by Pipilotti Rist. I saw it in the Strange Days Memories to the Future show in 2018 at 180 The Strand in London. 21 video artists showed work at the exhibition, with Rist's being one of the biggest and most unusual pieces. The space was curated so that you saw the works in a particular order, with Rist's being fourth. So the first three were like cinema-style viewings with benches and big rectangular screen, or a few multi-screen videos were there. But they were all in like white cube style spaces with benches and dim lightings. This made Rist's large colour-themed and shapeless room rather striking when I first walked through the curtains. The room consists of a green, organically shaped carpet with 12 different beds sheeted in blue and green. The walls are covered by dark blue curtains, and 2 screens are suspended from the ceiling in similar organic shapes to the carpet. Nothing in the room has corners except for the bed frames, which makes it a very odd space, unlike anything you would find in the busy city outside of the gallery. The room is very dimly lit, mostly just by light from the 2 large screens. A moving spotlight shines red down onto the bed with a watery filter, making the video more immersive. As it weaves around the room, members of the audience lying on the beds are occasionally illuminated. It's an oddly peaceful scene. Nobody is moving or speaking, as they are all mesmerised by the videos on the ceiling. It almost looks as if everyone's asleep, but with their eyes open. The videos themselves are shot almost entirely underwater, and show mostly just plants, rocks and sand below the water, with bright sunlight bouncing through and reflecting onto things. The camera moves smoothly through the water, swimming around the objects. Nothing is ever really focused upon, as most of the objects just come into like the edge of the frame as the camera moves past them into the empty space. This gives the video a first-person kind of feeling, as if you were actually swimming through the water. The 2 screens show different videos, giving the impression that perhaps there are 2 people in the water, or one screen is a memory. Both videos are somewhat in sync though, showing similar colours and light levels, although they are always moving in different directions to each other. Part of the video features flesh and body parts which seem to be floating still in the water. A wrinkled hand is shown as if it had been in the water for hours. The body shots suddenly end with a red, blood-like pigment violently shooting across the water as the camera seems to fall back a little, slowly turning up to look at the surface of the water before continuing to move. The red pigment slowly dissipates into the water, leaving a slightly pink hue before the video seems to continue as it did before. Accompanying the videos are 2 audio sections. One is kind of splashing sounds as the camera moves through the liquid. After a minute or 2, however, the song Spiracle by Soap and Skin begins to play loudly. It's very contrasting to the splashing sounds, which they kind of allow you to appreciate the beauty of what you're looking at on the screens. It's like a natural kind of peaceful scene, but the song is much more, it's like a haunting but somehow calm song with an emotional sounding voice and a heavy but fast-paced piano backing. The lyrics follow the singer from childhood fears about fighting with peers and playing with dirt through to more adult concepts of fear. In between each verse, the singer cries out, "Please help me," and at one point suddenly screams before continuing to sing. In a way, it's similar to the water sounds, with no harsh beat and the strangely soothing voice. It causes you to sink into the bed and listen, forgetting about the outside world. However, as you zone into the lyrics and the blood pours into the screen, you become slightly more alarmed and possibly reminded of past experiences. When I first saw the work in 2018, I found it incredibly powerful. At first you feel peaceful and light, as if you're floating in the water on the screen. However, the longer that I laid there, the more I experienced. At the most intense part of the song, it actually began to feel like someone was pressing on my chest, as if I was actually underwater and couldn't breathe. I noticed my friend lying next to me inhale sharply as the camera surfaced above the water for a second, and I became aware of the world around me again, thinking about how strangely still everyone in the room was. The work was literally mesmerising. I think it was really powerful because of the way that the scene and the emotion of the music and the blood and the hands and everything, they kind of create this uncomfortable kind of feeling that brings you back to past memories. So for me, it really reminded me of a recent experience that I'd had at the time, which was really quite traumatic, and lying on that bed and feeling like the water kind of feeling of pressing down on your chest. You're so mesmerised by the piece that you're not moving and everyone's just still around you. Nobody's really paying attention to how you feel. It kind of took me back to that really negative experience, and it was a bit overwhelming for a while. but I went to see it for a second time, and like understanding how it was going to make me feel and being aware of how I'd felt last time, it made it a lot more of a serene experience, and I didn't really feel the same kind of connections that I did the first time I saw it. I think the power of presenting the work in this installation style is incredible over just playing the same video on two wall-mounted or rectangular projections, like a normal video you would expect to see in popular culture. Lying on the bed where the screens cover your whole vision above you rather than in front of you means that you don't see the rest of the audience. There's nobody, like, you don't see the tops of people's heads in front of you. And because of the power of the room and how strange of an environment it is, everyone is silent. Everyone just kind of knows to be silent in that kind of situation. In a way, the way that you react and interact with the artwork is part of the artwork itself. It causes you to lose touch with your surroundings and therefore is able to deliver its message. The way that it ties you down to the bed and the video moves with such emotion, they kind of, like I said before, they took me back to a traumatic situation I'd been in recently. You begin to feel like powerless and trapped in the work as it takes over all your senses. I think that because it doesn't have like a specific subject, it doesn't really focus on anything clearly, you can zone out and recall that personal experience as if you're watching a movie of your own experiences, but like an abstracted version. The movement of the camera, the colours on the screen, and the emotions in different parts of the song guide you through an experience, but what you experience is left up to you. About her work, Rist has said in interviews that she wants it to be perceived intellectually, emotionally, and physically, and that she welcomes all senses and the whole body of a potential spectator.